Let's see. What advice do you have for an animation student to stray away from feeling bad about your work after receiving feedback? That's actually a really good question. So actually, let's go over there. So this is a little different than the question we had talked about earlier, which is like feeling bad about your own work and kind of feeling unmotivated to work. Specifically here, it is when you get feedback, how do you not feel bad about it? And that is something as animators that we really have to learn, especially when working at a studio, because there you're gonna get feedback, and a lot of times they don't sugarcoat it. When you're getting feedback at a studio, they don't have time to go, oh no, this feels good, but this needs to change, and oh, but you did a great job here. Lots of times it's just gonna be fix, 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 get rid of that. That doesn't work. Okay, move on. Because they've got to go through every animator in the department, and they don't have time to like have a fun little conversation. Sometimes they do. It depends on the director. Some directors can be very blunt. Um, so, as an animator, we need a little bit of a thick skin. We need to be able to not let it get to us. Now, I will say this right away. It never becomes super easy where when you get feedback, you just go, yeah, not a problem. Haha, I don't care. And there's a reason for that. Animation, like any art form, so drawing, sculpting, all of this stuff, is a creative environment. When you are animating something, it is not just putting numbers in a sheet or working on an assembly line, doing the same thing every day. It is a creative process. You are putting some of yourself into this. You are putting your experiences, your thoughts, your creativity into trying to make this as good as possible and trying to make this like evoke emotion. And because you're putting that creativity, that personal side of things into your animation, when you get critiqued on it, it's going to be hard. It can feel like a critique on you, on your skill, on your sense of humor, on your whatever. So, how do we get around that? Well, the first thing to keep in mind, in most cases, when you are getting a critique, and this will really depend on who's giving the critique, but in most cases, keep in mind that they are giving you a critique not because they think your work sucks, but because they want you to be better. They want you to improve. And they are giving this feedback to help you improve, to get even better, so that the next time is going to be better and better and better. For example, when you're an animation mentor, the mentors are going to give you notes. They're not giving you the notes to tear you down. They're not giving you the notes to tell you, oh man, you suck, you should quit. Why are you even trying this? No, it's, hey, you need to work on this because this is going to make you go even further. So the notes are opportunities to get better. They're ways of improving yourself. Now, does that take away the hurt? No, it's still going to hurt. And this is why whenever I tend to give notes to students in classes, or when I was given notes, one of the things that I was taught early on was when you get your notes, get the notes, and then walk away. Take a little bit of break. When you get your critique, when you get any feedback, same thing at an animation studio, when you get your note from your director, don't take the notes and then just dive right in. Take a little bit of a break, because it's very easy to get the notes and go, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're saying. No, it works. Or, oh man, I suck and my work is terrible. And like one or the other. Some people tend to get angry. Other people tend to get upset, sad. Either way, that's totally okay. Just let it pass. Take a breath, and then sit down and go, okay, why are they mentioning this note? What can I do to improve? And when you start doing that, you're going to get better and better and better as an animator. So that's the first thing. Most people, when they're giving notes, it's to help you improve. It's not to tear you down. Now, this is where, like, especially on the age of the internet, you have to be very careful, because you get the trolls who just post things to be mean. And in that sense, when you get that feedback, like just the trolls just being mean and not giving any constructive criticism, just keep this in mind. Would this be someone that you would want to have or to take advice from anyway? If they were to give, like, if they're being this nasty, would you take their advice regardless? No, because they're a jerk and they're terrible people. So why would you take their criticism? You just, it's hard to ignore. Like, it will affect you, but keep in mind that they're just being mean. So we have to be aware of the constructive criticism versus just the nitpicking, being mean criticism. The other thing you can do when you're getting criticism is, like I said earlier, take it as a learning opportunity. Keep in mind that people want you to become better, but also just take it as, how do I want to say this? When people are giving you critiques, as an animator, it doesn't necessarily mean that you've done something wrong. It just means that people are different. Now, this is going to be kind of more, especially like high level animation. If someone gives you a critique, you don't always have to apply it. If they're saying like, oh, this joke, it's not, I don't find it funny, but then 10 other people found the joke really funny, it could just be their sense of humor is different. So we have to be aware of, when we're showing this to someone, they might have a point, but we as the animator have control over the shot and can choose to not apply their note if it's going to make our shot worse. Now, this is just something to keep in mind for later, but also a caveat to that, and something to really be careful of, is if your director is giving you the note, or the animation supervisor, you always apply their note to the best of your ability, regardless if you don't like it or not. If it's just someone else, some random person is giving you a note, it's up to you as the animator whether you want to actually implement it. So the biggest thing, honestly, and this is the thing that helped me, is just keep in mind that people are giving you the notes because they want you to get better. They see potential in you and they want to see it go further. Like, when I give people notes, it's not to put them down and go, oh, you suck, just quit now. It's because, hey, you can do this and you've got some great skills, and if you like take these into account, it can be even better, and like, this is the path you can take to go get to that final product even faster. So yeah, it's, hopefully that helps. Now, there's a few good comments here. The nuances here are important. He's pointing out the subjectivity and relativity of creative fields. Combined with individual subjectivity, you get a random result. Regardless of feedback, ideally you could gain knowledge from it. Exactly. Regardless of what field you're in, regardless of what you're doing, you can gain knowledge from feedback. We should embrace feedback. As animators especially, we are constantly getting feedback. So learning to embrace it and strive for it and look for it is very important. It is essential. And a good habit to get into is to get feedback early. Don't wait until you've put 30 hours into a shot before asking for feedback. Get feedback on the first pass. Okay, is this reading? Does this feel good? Is a story coming through? Then keep going. This is going to help avoid the moment where you get feedback and it's, oh, you have to start over. And this is especially true in a studio environment. You do not want to do a whole bunch of work, get your shot almost finalized, then go to the director and go, hey, this is my shot. And they go, no, that's not the direction we were going for. We're going this way. And you have to throw it all out and start over. You get your feedback early and you get your feedback often. This applies to anything. Now, a good thing to do is like having a community or some friends that you can quickly show it to. That really helps with that.